All right, guys, now it's time for the main event. The moment you've all been waiting for, where we get to really see if what we've done, all the work we've done, is going to pay off tenfold, 20-fold, and see if we're ready to scale. Okay, just so you know, there's a whole paid advertising cert on DM, so I highly suggest checking that out if you want to go even deeper and deeper and deeper. Today, however, we're going to cover why paid advertising and why Facebook or Meta in particular, right? Because there's a whole bunch of other platforms out there. I want to tell you why it's, sometimes, most often we start with Meta. It really depends on your brand. This is not for everyone, but there's some good reasons why we do that. Second thing is what I want to talk about, if you are ready. I want to make sure you are darn ready to make this happen and what to expect for budget. Okay, and then we'll give you some action items. All right, so why paid advertising? And a lot of my students, a lot of our clients who come to us, especially if they're just starting out, have tried it. You probably tried it too. You put some money into a Facebook ad, lit up a campaign, tried an audience, randomly guessed at it, boosted a post on Instagram, and you got some likes, got some clicks, saw some traffic, but you have no idea if it affected your sales in any way whatsoever. And I want to give you the strategy here where we can, approach this scientifically. We're going to test it. We're going to test everything, and we're going to see if we're ready to scale up. And that's the biggest part of what we're trying to do now, is get to that point where we know we can say, I can spend $1,000 a day on ads and know that I'm going to either break even or turn a profit. And once you can hit that, you've got it. So getting to that point, though, that's the challenge. The different kinds of ads we do, the different kind of marketing we do essentially is there's permission-based marketing. It's essentially email, SMS. There's search marketing. That's people, Googling, Bing, Yahoo, high intent searches. And then there's interruptive marketing. And interruptive marketing is where we want to start, because what this means is that your prospects wake up in the morning not knowing who you are, not knowing about your products, not knowing about what you do. And we're going to see if we can get them to purchase without any of that information that morning. We're going to provide it to them. We're going to be in their feeds. We're going to interrupt their experience on Instagram, for example, show them what we do and see if we can get them to purchase. Because if we can do that with enough people, with our cost per acquisition low enough, our profitability high enough, that means we can take it to scale. That means we can go from spending $100 a day to $1,000 to even $10,000 a day with similar results, hopefully. There's strategies there too. My job today is to get you to the point where you can say, yes, I am ready to scale. So why not organic? And my answer to this is, yes, organic. You should be doing a whole bunch of organic activities in the whole pursuit of verifying your product and validating your product, right? However, it's just going to take a lot longer. But why is it amazing? It's free. Posting organically is very much free. If done properly, your audience will be an amazing resource. You can build an audience on organic. You can hit it huge with viral posts if you're lucky. TikTok was really great for that. Again, it's kind of going the way of Facebook and Instagram, and that they're going to start throttling that organic reach in order to get you to pay for it. You got to pay to play. So there's a chance, but why is it difficult, right? Why is it hard to rely solely on organic? And it's because it's so much work. You got to be posting every day, probably twice a day, to have any impact, and you have to keep doing that. And especially if you're just starting out, you're a solopreneur, you probably don't have time to do that. You have to be doing the things that are going to move the needle for you, that are going to really have high impact with low energy and a lot of those kind of things. If you're spending all your time just on, Facebook and Instagram, hoping for massive reach with organic posts, you're going to be around for a while. You're going to have to wait. Okay. Yeah. Platforms change. It's a lot harder now than it was 5 years ago. When I got into this business in 2009 probably and was posting on Facebook, I was getting 100 followers a day, and my posts were reaching every single one of them. And you end up with 10,000 followers on some weird little business and everything is great. That is no longer the case. Now it is slow to get results. You have to work, you have to spend time, you have to elbow grease, and time is money. That is the cost, right? Okay, so then why Facebook ads? Why do paid? Why do Facebook? Why do Instagram? The whole Meta setup. And the reason is because the Meta platform is probably the most complex. It's the most sophisticated, and it's a place where we know we can really scale. So once you understand the platform and you're comfortable on the Meta Ads Manager, the Meta business settings, those skills are 100% transferable to every other platform out there that's interruptive. So Snapchat, TikTok, Pinterest, okay? And a lot of times people say, you know, oh, my audience isn't on Facebook or my audience isn't on Instagram. And I'm like, there's like billions of people on those platforms. So I'm pretty sure at least a few million of your audience are going to be on there. However, that's not to say, you know, if you're more cut out for searchable traffic on Google, for example, you can start there too. The reason we do this is just most e-commerce brands, if they find success on Meta, they can find success on pretty much every other platform out there. Here is an example of a client of mine. This is like a celebrity client. So they post every day on Facebook and Instagram. Their posts do incredibly well. They reach a lot of people. There's a ton of engagement, a ton of shares. And if you can see the bottom line there, the light yellow, that is the organic reach. The paid reach is about 96% of the reach that they get, right? Point being here, guys, advertising is a time machine. So I absolutely encourage you to post organically. But if you want to really hop into testing, validate your product even further, see if you're ready to scale, spending money is going to do that so much quicker than just, you know, the slog of just daily posting. It's going to get you there like quadruple fast, like exponentially faster. Okay. Validating, scaling. Here's an example of a hot sauce company we work with where, you know, they started out, they were doing advertising the bad way. They didn't really know what they were doing. They were spending a bit. They came on with us and yeah, we like 5x their business in 1 month. Happened to be a really good month to hop on and start doing this stuff. But you can see that with paid, the scalability can be incredible. Once you hit it, it doesn't take long to get to seriously big numbers. It's all about the testing though to figure out if you can get there. Okay, where does advertising live on the CVJ, especially meta advertising? Pretty much everywhere. There's a place for it. Once you get your campaigns built out, they become more and more robust, but we're going to definitely start on the aware stage, the engage stage. Even going to get people subscribing via lead form ads, and then conversion, of course. So, and once people convert, we want to retarget. We want to, hot audiences. Advertising lives everywhere. And you can target everyone on different stages of the customer value journey as well. So stop now. Okay. We got to cover some stuff first before we go forward, because Mark Zuckerberg has enough money. We don't want to waste our money on him. I need you to just break check for a second here, and I need you to do some stuff before you go ahead and start spending money. Okay? So first of all, I need you to know that you have made sales without ads, that you have made sales to people who aren't your mom and dad and cousins and friends. I need you to know that people value your product, value your service, and are going to buy it at scale. Okay, so validate your product, have product market fit. I need you to know that your website is built out, right? There's no messes in the corner. There's no sloppiness. It's dialed in. You have, all your optimizations are in there. You're crushing it on the website front. People are buying from you on your website. Especially, I need you to know you have your email system locked and loaded. Because if you don't, and you start spending on ads and you start generating a lot of cold traffic, people are buying, people are not buying, people are signing up to stuff. If you're not following up with as many of those people as possible, you're leaving essentially all your profit on the table. All right, so having your email set up before you start advertising, in my opinion, is essential. I'll never tell you not to spend money, but I'll be like, why would you when you can spend a couple days and get this dialed? Okay. And finally, I need you to have an offer sequence in place that's going to entice customers that may not purchase to nudge them into that first purchase. So have a great offer sequence, review Scott's stuff if you need to, go back and review everything that we've talked if you need to, if you haven't finished. You can continue watching this and get the context, but like have this stuff done before you start dumping money. Okay, now budget. Again, advertising is a time machine. The bigger your budget, the faster you learn, the faster you figure out what works and what doesn't, right? So really at the end of the day, your budget can be very similar over it's just one takes longer than the other. However, because we're really trying to feed the machine, feed Facebook's machine learning, Meta's machine learning, you do need to have at least a significant spend in order for that to actually learn properly, right? So you don't fill your jet halfway and expect to make it from New York to LA. You have to give it gas enough to get to your destination. We'll talk exactly about how to do that. Ideally, set aside about $1,000 if this is your initial test you're doing, and we're going to spend that over a week or two. Okay? This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Yes, people have brands where the first dollar they put in returns 10. That happens. It's rare. Doesn't happen to everyone. So you're going to have to try. You're going to have to iterate. You're going to have to experiment. You're going to have to work the angles, figure out what is resonating with your audience, what does not, triple down on what does, move on from there, right? As we ramp up our spend. Do not do this if you have to remortgage your house to pay for ads, okay? Expect $0 to return from this. If you're talking to a loan shark and think that you're going to give them, pay him back with interest 5 days from now just because you're lighting up some ads, please don't. And finally, you need to be a Zen master when it comes to calmness, stick into the program, don't panic. The more things you do, the worse results you can get sometimes. If you're always going in and tinkering, if you're always going in and changing things and resetting learning, you're never going to get there. You just have to stick with it, let it ride out, let your test roll. And if it works, amazing, you've learned a ton. If it doesn't work, also amazing, because you've still learned a ton, and you have to take everything you've learned and apply it to your future endeavors. Maybe you just hit pause and you say, okay, my conversion rate on my website sucked. I need to work on my website. I need to work on my offer. I need to work on my product, right? At the end of the day, Scott talked about this. Sometimes you have to iterate your product and your offer stack completely. And spending on Meta is going to get you that information very quickly. I'd rather have that now than 2 years from now after twiddling my thumbs all that time, right?